Welcome to Agenix Lab's advanced training video for dental waterline testing. I'm your host, Deborah Brown. Bacteria in dental unit waterlines is a serious problem. If your dental water does not meet the American Dental Association guidelines and the Centers for Disease Control recommendations for infection prevention and control, your patients are at risk. If left unaddressed, colonizing bacteria can grow to be biofilm and can result in unsafe and odor-producing water. But just how big is the problem? And just what can be done to protect your practice and, most importantly, your patients? In this video, we'll talk about the problem of bacteria in dental water lines, how to comprehensively test for bacteria, and how dentists can continuously monitor dental water lines and remain compliant. To answer those questions and to understand how all this works, I'm joined by one of Agenix's best, Patty McHale, biologist. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
I've heard that in recent years, bacteria in dental water lines have been causing some serious issues. Can you explain the causes behind this?
Certainly. The narrow tubing, warm water, periods of stagnation, and dental unit water lines all play a part in expediting bacteria growth. In fact, many people have become affected by this problem. There have been cases in Georgia and California where many children have become ill from exposure to unsafe dental water, prompted in large part due to the Anaheim mycobacterial outbreak. Assembly Bill 1277 was signed and now requires all California dentists to use water that contains recognized disinfecting or antibacterial properties or sterile irrigant when performing dental procedures that expose dental pulp.
What do you mean by unsafe dental water?
Unsafe dental water can be defined as having elevated amounts of bacteria, some of which can be harmful to humans, especially those with compromised immune systems. To stay in compliance with CDC and ADA recommendations, dentists should work to keep bacteria levels below 500 colony-forming units per milliliter. This is the same standard that drinking water must meet. Dentists should monitor their water lines regularly with a third-party testing laboratory, and that's where we come in. Agenix offers fully comprehensive water analysis and certified results to help dental practitioners know if they meet water quality guidelines.
Well, what is included with third-party testing?
A standard third-party test will only give you a bacteria count. Agenix, however, takes it a step further by offering two separate test methods that provide details on the bacteria counts and allows you to perform additional comprehensive water analysis, such as pH and total dissolved solids.
Tell me about the two testing methods that you offer. How do they differ?
Of course. We have two ways to test for HPC bacteria. Method 1 is our exponential spread plate on R2A agar, and method 2 is our enzyme substrate. Let me introduce you to our lab technician, Carl Morgan. He'll explain the enzyme substrate process.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This process is strictly manual and requires 1 milliliter of sample water to 9 milliliters of media, which is the food bacteria eat. The sample is inoculated by mixing with the enzyme substrate media, and plates are then incubated at 35 degrees Celsius for 48 hours. After the incubation period, if there is a presence of bacteria, they will have metabolized the enzyme substrate, which will then fluoresce under UV light. Each well that fluoresces correlates to a most probable number of colony-forming units, or CFU.
It's important to note that each method recovers bacteria differently.
Well, how does your R2A method differ from more manual methods? I see you have some fascinating technology here.
Yes, it's very sophisticated technology that we recently adopted. This technology is largely automated, which is extremely important because it eliminates most of the human error in testing. Additionally, it can plate and count with higher accuracy and precision than most manual methods. With this technology, it isn't necessary to report too numerous to count, and you can rest assured that you're getting consistent and accurate results every time.
Why would a lab report too numerous to count?
After a certain number, let's say 500 colony-forming units, it becomes difficult for a person to manually count a plate with numerous colonies and to confidently report a value over 500. In this case, the lab will report too numerous to count. Labs that don't dilute samples are forced to report high bacteria counts as too numerous to count. On the other hand, our automatic colony reader can count up to 1 trillion CFU per milliliter with a 98% accuracy.
Yeah, we use what is called an exponential spread plate method that is similar to doing a series of dilutions. Most labs manually plate dilutions on multiple plates, which increase the cost and time of processing samples. However, we can achieve this on a single plate, allowing us to keep costs low and increase accuracy.
I am really interested in seeing how this works. Can you show us?
Of course, it would be my pleasure. The stylus draws 50 microliters of sample water and spreads it exponentially on the R2A auger plate. As the plate spins, the stylus disperses less water the further it moves from the center. The center of the plate is now highly concentrated, while the outer edge has a lesser concentration of sample. If there are bacteria present after incubation, there will be fewer colonies along the outer edge of the plate. This helps our automatic reader to count colonies in a split second. After it's done plating, it will print a label with the name of the clinic, sample number, barcode, and the date and time the sample was plated. This allows us to trace samples from the time they come into our lab until the results reach the customer.
Well, I imagine that type of traceability is important when processing a lot of samples. What is the barcode used for?
Once the plates have incubated for 5 to 7 days at 28 degrees Celsius, we read them with our high-definition plate reader. When the barcode is scanned, the system will know how to read the Petri dish based on how the sample was plated.
This plate reader produces a report with digital images that show colony growth on each plate. Customers will receive these images with a summary report. If a dental practice is in compliance, this documentation can serve as liability protection and can be used as admissible evidence in court. However, if their water lines are failing, it would be a good reason to start addressing waterline treatment and protocols.
So that was a lot of information. Can you give us the highlights of each?
We have two methods, enzyme substrate and R2A spread plate.
Both methods are EPA registered to test dental water. Do note, there's an in-office test method to test for bacteria, but it is not EPA registered to test for dental water.
The enzyme substrate method delivers test results in 2 to 3 days, while the R2A method delivers test results in 5 to 7 business days. The enzyme substrate method
Reports include a table with bacteria, TDS, and pH results. The R2A reports include a table with bacteria, TDS, and pH results, but also a high-res image of each Petri dish sample.
Yeah, it really depends on the level of detail and liability protection that the customers want from their waterline test results.
I can see how both methods can be beneficial depending on the customer's situation. How do the images serve as liability protection?
As Patty mentioned before, there have been many cases of patients being exposed to contaminated dental water lines that have led to serious illnesses and even death. If for any reason a dental practice is questioned as the cause of an illness outbreak, and they have done their due diligence by treating and testing their water lines, they can use their test results from Agenix Labs as proof that their lines are passing ADA and CDC recommendations.
Now that sounds like a great feature to have as a dentist, but how will they know if their water lines are in compliance or not?
Our reports make it easy to decipher which lines are failing and which are not. Both methods will provide customers with a summary report. The summary report includes quantitative HPC bacteria values and a pass or fail based on CDC and ADA recommendations. We go beyond the average bacteria analysis by providing pH and TDS values. These values provide support in discerning potential causes of elevated bacteria. To prove the validity of our results, we also run negative controls and a duplicate. For our negative control, we plate sterile water to ensure that there was no cross-contamination during the testing process. Then, a method check is performed by duplicating the last sample to show that the readings are consistent and reliable.
Well, what causes these failures and what can dentists do to remedy failing lines?
There are a lot of different factors when it comes to elevated amounts of bacteria. However, the main reason for failing lines is a lack of waterline maintenance protocols. It's just as important to monitor dental water lines as it is to use a shock and continual treatment product. However, treating the water lines alone will not give you the peace of mind in knowing your lines are clean. Without testing, you won't know if your maintenance protocols are actually working. We can test for the presence of disinfectants to ensure there's an adequate amount to reduce and maintain bacteria levels.
Now, our lab technicians will be available to help customers achieve safe and compliant water.
Okay, if I'm a dentist, I know I need to be compliant. And of course, I want what's best for my patients. How would I start the process of ensuring the safety of my patients and my practice?
The dentist can go online to our website, call us, or contact their local dealer to place an order.
You'll receive a water collection kit so they can sample their dental water and send it back to us on ice for analysis.
Depending on the testing method the dentist chooses, they will receive their results within 2 to 7 days.
Well, once a dentist receives their water collection kit, how would they sample the water to ensure accurate results?
The first and most important thing to do is rehydrate the ice packs. This can be done well in advance of sampling the water. To rehydrate the ice packs, run them under warm water and massage the cells until fully expanded. Place the expanded ice packs into the freezer for at least 5 hours prior to sampling. Now, since bacteria grows in warm conditions, it's important to inhibit that growth during transportation to our lab. To get a good snapshot of bacteria in the lines at the time of sampling, the samples should be cold and shipped overnight. Otherwise, the results are inaccurate. Next, complete the chain of custody. Carefully document the room or chair numbers and water source descriptions. Make a copy of the chain of custody, place one chain of custody in the provided sealable bag, and keep the other copy. Take samples in provided sterile vials at the beginning of the week on the same day you intend to ship the samples. Avoid cross-contamination by using sterile gloves, placing vial caps face up, and not touching the outlet tip or interior of the vial. Collect samples from each dental waterline handpiece, or a composite sample from each dental unit. A composite sample is a combination of 2 or more water sources from the same chair. Run water from each source to be tested for a minimum of 10 seconds before filling the sample vial. Fill the vial completely to ensure adequate sample volume and seal tightly. Using a black permanent marker, mark each vial with the sample number corresponding to the chain of custody sheet. Secure the lid on each vial, wipe clean with a disinfectant wipe, and place in the clean sealable bag provided. Wrap samples in the cold ice packs and place the wrapped vials in the insulated mailer along with the chain of custody. Close and seal the insulated mailer and ship using an overnight return label. If the pickup for shipping exceeds 1 hour, keep the sample collection package refrigerated.
Sounds simple enough. Order, collect, return, test.
At Agenix Labs, we're in the business of protecting dental patients and clinicians by providing certified microbiological test results that prove safe and compliant dental water.
Thank you both for an informative and thorough explanation of the services Agenix provides. Water quality monitoring is a crucial part of any treatment plan. For more information on how Agenix Labs can help you with your plan, call us or visit our website today. So the next time someone asks, "What's in your water?" you can respond with confidence. Now that we have passing results, only the good stuff. Thanks for watching.